One of the biggest failures I've ever had was before I started Pan-African Lifestyle with my wife. I lost like about 50,000 USD.
This is Mogobe Nuggets of Wisdom podcast. We enthuse, we energize, we inspire, and we empower entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs of all stripes in BW and beyond. Hello, Dumelang, and welcome to another exciting episode of our podcast, Mogobe Nuggets of Wisdom. We're so pleased to offer you yet another great entrepreneur. It is our job to look for life-changing business education and to look for people who will inspire and impact you in a positive manner and make a difference in your life. And I've got one such person from across the Atlantic. By that I mean as far as the United States, where he's based. But of course, he's been all over the world, Canada, the Congo, and here. So you'll get to understand why I'm so excited. And we're going to talk about issues around branding, issues about marketing, issues about really telling the African story in a positive light, which is why he's here. He flew all the way from the United States to join us in the studio. So you can see, guys, that we're making an impact. We're attracting people from all over. And thank you so much for coming,
Thank
Mr.
you for
Emmanuel
having me.
Bope.
Thank you for having me, Mr. Mogobe.
Yeah, it's
Thank
such
you.
a pleasure. Before we start our conversation, let me just ask the viewer, kindly strike that subscribe button and please stay to the end, because nuggets of wisdom are going to be dropped left, right, and center. And also, if you don't mind, please think of my book, only $350. It's available from Exclusive Books from Sasaratsakama International Airport. And as well, you can buy it here from first floor Mogobe Plaza, only $350. And thanks for watching. Let's kick the ball off. Let's get the ball rolling by you telling us your family background, your business background, your academic background.
Oh yeah, sure. Well, my family background is that I come from the Democratic Republic of Congo. So those who know, it's in Central Africa, of course. And, my parents and I moved from there because of the war that was going on at the time, still ongoing. And we went to Zambia. And then by the time I was 5.5, we moved to Ottawa, Ontario. And I lived in Canada most of my life. That's where I was educated, primary school, all the way up to tertiary school, which I did mostly online after. I did half through a bricks and mortar school at the University of Winnipeg and Algonquin College in Ottawa. And then I finished at Ashworth College online. So my background is in marketing. I have a diploma in public relations, a diploma in marketing communications, and a degree in marketing science. And so that's my area. I love marketing. I love branding. I think that words and marketing is the closest thing that we have to magic, if I could say, because it really has a way, if done properly, to connect with the soul and shape behavior and mindset and change perception.
Wow.
So that's why I love marketing. And, my wife and I created Pan-African Lifestyle 5 years ago. And since then, we've been able to grow Pan-African Lifestyle into a multimedia company and lifestyle agency that has over 500,000 followers across 4 different platforms. And that attracts...
How many?
500,000 followers across 4 different platforms. And we engage with 1 to 25 million people a month
How
on
did you
our
compute that?
We just look at our data analytics. So on our dashboard, we go and poll every month to see what the information would be.
What
And
are you sharing with these people?
Content that surrounds investment, travel, and relocation to the continent. Yeah, so that's what we're sharing. But it didn't start that way. It's been a long journey. And initially what we did was we focused just on presenting user-generated content. Because that's usually how you start when you don't have your own content, unless you're brave enough to show your face, and that's what you want to do. But if you have a faceless brand, or if you want to focus on a story particularly, then you start with user-generated content, and then you could build your way up.
What does that mean for a layperson?
Oh, user-generated content is content that's usually not your own. So it's content that other people produce that may pertain to your area of expertise or your domain or whatever it is that you're presenting to your
in other words,
audience.
you comment on it.
You can comment on it. You could just repost it. You could edit it and add your own flair to it. You could maybe take a sound bite and recreate something, repurpose or recycle content. But it's mostly user generated. So that's the easiest way usually, aside from just taking the camera and recording yourself, of course.
So what have you established in the US in terms of following, in terms of activity there?
Yeah, so first in Canada, what we started doing...
Canada, not US.
Well, both, actually, you're correct. But first we started in Canada, and we became a huge platform, but nobody in Canada knew that our brand is from, Congolese Canadians or Africans, based in Canada. So everybody just assumed that we were based somewhere else. And as far as our African American audience, that just grew naturally. There was a keen interest in reconnecting with the motherland. There was an effect of the Black Panther movie. That was a significant effect.
Wakanda forever.
Yes, that was a big time. And the rise of Afro beats and now Amapiano and all the different type of music in terms of mainstream right now has crossed over and allowed for us to have conversations around, the African Africana, the African identity, the African music, film, dance. So that's now creating spaces on digital platforms to have that conversation, but to propel people to experience Africa in general, and obviously in the respective countries that people choose to go to.
Yeah. Now, why Africa? Why Botswana?
Africa, because in the continent that's our home, that's our motherland. You could never deny yourself the duty, not only the right, but the duty and the responsibility that you have to come home. As a daughter or as a son of the motherland, it is up to us to uphold the values that our elders have shared with us and to come back and to contribute some way. So we thought it necessary to come back home somehow and contribute, to start somewhere. Now, the reason why we decided to come to Botswana is because it was just it is spiritual for us. When my wife and I were looking at Botswana, we just felt a connection that we could not explain. But then after doing some research, looking at videos of people that have been here online, Wodemaya, for example, was a good friend of ours. We just saw that this would be the perfect opportunity.
Did you see his interview of me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What did you think of that?
Oh, it was great. Yeah. And this is a full circle moment. And I haven't told my wife yet. She's going to see later. But I remember in Calgary, we were watching your interview with Wodemaya, and we were thinking, man, it would be great one day to come, maybe look, and maybe we'll get a chance to be at the studio, but we didn't know. And now we're here. So for me, it's full circle.
Wow.
Absolutely. And when I share with Wodemaya that I was here, I think he'll laugh, but it's a full circle moment.
Is he a friend of yours?
Yes, he is a friend of mine. We don't get to talk often because he's on the go. And I am as well, but he was the first influencer to wear our clothing for free. We told him about Pan-African Lifestyle. We messaged him on Instagram, and he responded, gave us his WhatsApp. We started talking. He accepted for us to send him our clothing, and he wore it everywhere to the point where it wore out. And we needed to send him more, and he wore it. He didn't ask for anything.
Wear it as well.
Yeah, he didn't ask for anything. He just, because he connected with the message, he just did that. And he also, after speaking and doing video conferences from time to time and an interview on Twitter together, he accepted to write the foreword to our book, Live the African Dream, which was our first one. And then that just propelled things for us. So we're forever grateful to Wodemaya and his kindness and his spirit of Pan-Africanism, but of boldness to go out there, much like yourself, to promote the African dream.
Wow.
Yeah, so we consider him a friend. Absolutely.
This is great. So this particular trip, what inspired it, and what do you hope to achieve?
This trip was specifically to come here and touch ground, but also it's a business trip. We came here to experience Botswana for ourselves, at least for a week. We can't experience all of Botswana, but we're in Gaborone, and we wanted to speak to key institutions within the government in order to get advice and to see how it is that we can take the story of Botswana to the world, particularly to the African diaspora. And we wanted to bring our data and all the feedback that we've gained online to share it with the government and different institutions such as the BITC and also Brand Botswana and the Tourism Board to showcase touch points that we can leverage to amplify the story that already exists here, to make sure that the world sees how beautiful of a place Botswana is. Yeah.
How is the place perceived as a brand? Not so much about diamonds and animals, but just a general brand. How are we perceived from your standpoint?
From my standpoint,
as a brand manager,
I think that Botswana as a country and as a brand is flying in stealth mode. So people don't really know about Botswana. Yeah, most people when they speak about Africa in generality, they'll mention Nigeria because of Afro beats, and Nigerians are mentioned like often. Something happens, or there's an athlete or something like that. Nigeria is mentioned, and then there's Kenya. There's Ghana because of the strides they've taken in terms of the year of return, beyond their return campaign and everything they've done to bring back the diaspora, and all the countries that promote and push Dirty December, especially around this time of year.
My daughter is going into that.
Yeah.
I was minded to prohibit her, but but I think we're struggling with that. Is Dirty December really dirty?
It's dirty. Yeah, it is.
Dirty as in
DETTY.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, is it dirty DIRTY?
Well, no. It's it depends where you go and which places you go to, but it is an experience. I'll say that it's an experience. But the good thing is it made us realize from a branding perspective that there is a longing. There's a longing to come here, and it showcases itself in the form of wanting to come and celebrate with music and dance and all that. But at some point, you could also utilize that same energy as a catalyst to talk about maybe tourism, or maybe to shift that into another kind of experience that can exist annually.
Among the countries you mentioned, you didn't say South Africa.
Well, South Africa comes up as well, but it's just that we love South Africa, but in general, South Africa has had there's been a lot of cognitive dissonance with South Africa, just because of the tension that exists and the perceived xenophobia that certain people have had or have mentioned on their platforms regarding how they felt in experiencing South Africa or people or influencers from South Africa. So that's where it's been difficult, but it's always mentioned. Obviously, Cape Town, Joburg, Durban, especially Cape Town, they're always mentioned as destinations. But when you look at the overall fabric of African countries, when you look at sub-Saharan African countries, it would be Ghana. That would be the place that most people, especially those of the Black diaspora, would come to, and then it would be Nigeria. And then now Kenya's looking like it's interesting.
Ghana because of what the mayor,
yeah, it's
in a large part.
He is the number one. He's Africa's number one influencer. He's much more than an influencer, but his impact and what he's done to catapult the interest, the desire, but also break stereotypes and probe people to take a leap. Has been tremendous, and it's been felt across governments, across countries.
Absolutely.
And so I commend.
I think that's why they recently gave him a diplomatic passport.
Exactly.
I was happy to see that.
Oh yeah, we thought it was about time. We thought he should have got it a long time ago. What am I his impact? Honestly, he should have a diplomatic passport in all 54 countries.
Yeah.
He's that important, especially online.
Yes.
For us, we saw that as an opportunity. We spoke with him on countless occasions, and we just saw the opportunity for people to come to the motherland. So it's an opportunity.
Let's narrow it down to the vision and the mission of your company for Botswana.
Oh, yeah. Well, for Botswana specifically, Pan-African Lifestyle wants to embody the African dream, wants to showcase to the diaspora that you can live a high quality of life, a high standard of life in the motherland, right? And when we're talking about the highest quality of life, we're talking about all the amenities that you could have, materialistic things, but also the intangibles, the peace of mind, no burden, no heaviness, the spirit,
no risk of being locked up by the police or
exactly, and also the sense of community, the spirit of Ubuntu, like here. Knowing that you can look at people and genuinely smile and feel welcomed.
Yeah.
It's tough to
you
explain.
feel it in the streets?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. It gives you peace and it gives you tranquility, and you feel at home. You feel like you can relax. You feel very light. And it's something that you don't get to experience often, especially when you're in various countries in the West. You get programmed to be individualistic. So when you come in a place, an African country where it's collective, you see that people think about the collective, how they greet you, the tone of voice, the warmth, the energy, and just the general interaction with others. It's just something that's very comforting.
So let's talk business, vision and mission from a business standpoint.
So for the vision and mission, the vision for Botswana is to make it the #1 destination in Africa. From the diaspora's perspective, that's the mission. But the vision is to propel Botswana's brand and make a clear offer in regards to Botswana being synonymous with peace of mind, and high quality living. So that would be our mission here as Pan-African Lifestyle. But overall, our slogan is "Live the African Dream." So we do that everywhere that we go as a multimedia company and lifestyle agency.
Yeah. Tell me how you've structured the company.
It's twofold. As like in terms of the business model, or
both.
Okay.
Both the business model and just the psychology of it, because I think of my company as a living, dynamic organism. Mogobe Incorporated Group. I have a thing in the book when you read it called the living dynamic organism. I call it the Mogobe gentle giant. I imagine it as an animal. So I encourage a lot of my mentees to look at business that way. I wonder whether you have a similar outlook.
Well, yeah, absolutely. What I could say for Pan-African Lifestyle in terms of the business model is one that it's twofold. Just from an operations standpoint, it's a multimedia company, meaning that we produce content and experiences that have to do with investing, traveling, and relocating to Africa. We also have thought-provoking content around the Black experience overall, but that's all through content. And for the lifestyle portion of it, the lifestyle agency, it's mostly concierge services, so facilitation services in regards to helping people relocate to the motherland, whether they need to know, how healthcare is here, how education is, where they need to go to get their driver's license, something as simple as that. Or how much it would cost to build a house here, or who they could trust for that, or how they could facilitate citizenship pathways. So all of those are concierge services that we offer. So that's pretty much our twofold business model. And in terms of a media company, we have a subscription-based model. In terms of those that want
How does it work?
Well, people go online and they just subscribe on the website, and it's a monthly fee, and they support PAL. But they can also purchase Pan-African Lifestyle merch. There are our books, our card games.
I like it when you call it PAL.
PAL, yes.
It's like your pal, it's your
yeah,
friend.
Exactly. Yes.
Pan-African lifestyle.
That's right. Those are all the different products and services that we offer. So that's our straight up business model, subscription based and all that. But in terms of the lifestyle agency, we do consultation as well. And
so somebody watching, how do they subscribe?
They go to the website www.panafricanlifestyle.com and they get all the details there. But if they want to subscribe to our YouTube, for example, they can do that. Our Instagram, just go to @panafricanlifestyle and they'll get more information. But if it's about the business aspect or gaining consultation, whether it's cross-continental information or people that are in the diaspora, they'll go to panafricanlifestyle.com.
Are you targeting people throughout the diaspora in the widest sense of the word? By that I mean South America, United States, Canada, also the Caribbean.
Yeah. So eventually we want to have a Pan-African lifestyle embassy everywhere, where there are people from Africa that are descendants of the continent. Yeah. So the Caribbean has to be a next destination for us, but we wanted to start off at home. But our content reaches everyone. So those 25 million people, or 1 to 25 million people a month, they come from everywhere. We get information from
Why
Panama.
Is such a vast gap between 1 and 25? It's 24 million.
It just depends.
Is there an average number somewhere in the middle?
I guess the average number would be about 15 million people a month. But I just give it that range because it all depends on how often we post our content. Just because we've been so busy facilitating certain things that we want to do right now, and the real estate development that we want to do, and all of that, we haven't had a chance to really post. And also, when it comes to African platforms, there's an attack on African platforms. So we've
been shadow banned.
Not just shadow banned by we've been threatened to being removed on YouTube. We have to go through a 90-day strike policy. Same thing on Instagram. On TikTok, where we're going through a strike ban right now, and we have to wait until it's lifted after 90 days. So they always come after us, and it could be anything, and they'll try to shut us down. So we've been keen to.
Why are you seen as a threat? Or are you seen as a threat? Put it that way.
We hope not. We hope not, because we're about the African dream, but
it's
there's an influence.
It's reality.
There's an influence there, and that influence comes with responsibilities and expectations, and it builds people who want to come here and inject money into the economy and move from the West. So in that sense, we're shaping a new mindset for our people, and for others who have interest in the continent that's becoming dangerous. So just like people have seen with African Stream. We know the founder very well. Ahmed,
what happened there? Remind me.
They deplatformed African Stream.
What did he do?
He did nothing. The defense minister of the United States government decided to completely remove African Stream from all platforms, from Facebook to YouTube, to all platforms, because they labeled him as somebody who was corroborating with Russia to destabilize or be a terrorist online.
Just because he was expressing his First Amendment right.
Well, yeah, because he was giving true information to black people around the world about Africa and about politics, activism, and that rubbed certain people the wrong way, and he was deplatformed. So we admire him a lot.
Literally cancelled.
Yeah, literally deplatformed. So they completely closed the African Stream on all social media platforms.
What did he do? What recourse does he have?
Well, at first, I don't think there was much recourse he could take. The threats were really severe, and he thought it would be best to just step back. We do see his content on his own Instagram, Ahmed Kabilo, but in terms of African Stream has been completely shut down. Yeah. But he was really instrumental in being a multimedia company that provided information that's conscious, and we admire him a lot. I've had a chance to speak with him, and he set a blueprint for us. as a media company, and unfortunately, they came for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He should find another way of manifesting that
That-
same energy.
I mean, yeah, a lot of people on our platform have given us that data and sent us emails about that. They want to see African Stream under a different name and they would support it. But I think at this time, Ahmed and his team are considering a different strategy. So we'll wait and see where he wants to move forward.
Well,
with that.
I'm a YouTuber, so I'm very keen to know what sort of things to avoid or to be careful about to avoid being deplatformed or being cancelled. Are you able to guide me?
Sure, yeah. Read the community guidelines. Most people that use social medias never read the community guidelines. Every single social media platform has
But what
community
sort
guidelines.
of things are in there?
It outlines, it's very long, but it outlines specific words that you can't use, specific content that you can't post, and things that are likely to get you banned, given a warning, or just a strike and eventual suspension or removal.
What are those things?
If you use the word kill, for example, if you use the word, rape, for instance, or, if you use any racial slurs, that'll trigger the system. If you showcase an image or a video of a gun, that'll trigger the system. If you speak on particular political topics, that'll trigger the system. So anything that's sensitive will trigger the platform.
So we're not supposed to really express ourselves fully.
No, as long as it's entertainment, you're okay. If someone's dancing, listening to music, doing something entertaining,
What about
you're
education? What about entrepreneurship?
Okay. Entrepreneurship is fine because it doesn't talk about anything sensitive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So you've given me guidelines on how not to get banned, but let's move on to the more important subject of how we impact Africa going forward. But I want you to talk a little bit about mindset. You know, for the longest time, 500 to 600 years, we were made to feel less than. And we recognize that it's important that we work on the mindset before anything else, in terms of progression, in terms of personal development, in terms of raising ourselves. Mindset first. What are your views on that? What we have to do to get the mindset right?
I think a mindset is really about knowing who you are and being confident in your abilities and your history. It's easy, especially in the West, to have a low self-esteem when you're made to believe that your history starts at a particular point in time where most or all of your people are going through excruciating, inhumane treatment and enslavement, and the system makes it seem as though that's where you started as a people, and they purposefully ignore the kingdoms
Like
and
everything
empires.
started around slavery.
Exactly. So already there, mentally, most people in the West, they're thinking about themselves is that's where one came from, whereas that's not true. That's one. So you lose a lot of self-esteem. Also, if you're made to forget your heritage or you disconnect from it, you lose touch with something that completes your understanding of yourself. But ultimately, the key in terms of mindset is I call it African exceptionalism.
African exceptionalism.
Yes, and the reason why I say that is because I've just observed Nigerians, and no matter where Nigerians are, they will succeed at the highest level. You know, whether they're surgeons, doctors, engineers, all the Nigerians that I've met, all of them are the top of the top. And it's because of that they don't believe they can fail because they're Nigerian. Naija no
The
carry
sad
last.
part is that even the 1% that do criminal work, they do it very well.
At the best, yeah.
Yeah.
So they always say, I probably don't say it properly, but they always say Naija no they carry last. So that they're never in last place. They always move forward. And so that exceptionalism, if we can take from that, and now Africans can embolden themselves with African exceptionalism, where because we're African, we can do anything, because this is where humanity started. This is where history started. This is where science was taken from. So we can do anything because we're African. I think that shift, can get us to unblock certain things that are inhibiting us from succeeding.
So as a brand expert, how do you continually promote that aspect and put it at the forefront?
It's the African dream. So that's why that's so important for us, the African dream, because to us it means the highest standard of life. So when you aspire to live the highest standard of life wherever you are, it's not something that's superficial or materialistic. It's being able to be free, to do what you want to do at whatever time you want to do it. And that's where we push the content. That's where we push the mindset. If we can showcase that, hey, you could have this African dream and you could live a lifestyle that is Pan-African, that focuses on being anywhere in the continent, that focuses on that spirit of Ubuntu, that gives that idea, that vision, that grandeur of living that dream. It becomes a catalyst to change behavior.
At a practical level, have you had a look at things like the AfCFTA and how it enhances that dream in terms of getting rid of barriers of entry, things like visas for business people, even when it comes to things like tariffs? They call tariff barriers and non-tariff barriers. Are these the kind of conversations you're having?
Well, on the platform,
Yes.
we try to have conversations around everything from tribalism to colorism to actual policies such as, the right of abode for the diaspora, or policies like citizenship through ancestry that can enhance, a return to the motherland, but also intercontinental trade.
Yes, that's what I was talking about.
Yes, so if you have intercontinental trade, absolutely, we wouldn't need to depend on any other outside market.
Yes.
If countries,
Because you have more than enough here.
oh, we have plenty. We have the raw resources, but if we find a way to
also have a
refine
market.
them, yes, we also have a market. Yes, so if we find a way to refine those products and we trade it amongst ourselves in this market, we wouldn't need anything. So we definitely have conversations around that.
I read a sad statistic that intra-Africa trade is only 15%, which is very sad.
It is sad, but it's not because the private sector doesn't try. I think a lot of things that inhibit intercontinental trade is policies. Most African governments are not making it easy for business people to trade.
They're making it hard.
Very hard. And even just to travel from one continent to the other, it's difficult. To start a business in certain African countries, it may take years before you get follow up on your registration for just starting your business or registering your brand name. So things like that, bureaucracy and sometimes nepotism, and then those elements of a process where there's no point of communication, where people don't take stuff like that seriously. There's no timeline that delays things. And I think aspects of that nature contribute to making it difficult for intercontinental trade. People lose heart.
And in your considered opinion, are things changing for the better
in Africa, or just
that area of inter-Africa trade?
They are changing for the better, because the private sector is not giving up. There are many people across the continent, such as yourself, who continue to build businesses, who continue to offer employment, who continue to offer opportunities to multiple people, and you make your presence felt. And even though there are things that are challenging, you forge ahead with resilience, and you find connection points with other people across the continent, and that creates an ecosystem whereby the governments are forced to look at it, because they see the economic impact. So now they're forced to look at it and say, hey, if we want to make sure that we continue to get this injection in the economy of this scale, let's at least try to see what we can do.
You don't get to the success that you've encountered without setbacks, failures, and even disasters. Are you willing to share some of those with my audience?
Oh, yes, absolutely. For example, one of the biggest failures I've ever had was before I started Pan African Lifestyle with my wife. I lost like about 50,000 USD when I was 19 years old.
What happened?
Well, I did investment pitches for my first business, and I got about 70,000 USD, and I just didn't know how to manage the money properly. I was too arrogant in terms of thinking I knew what I was doing. I didn't listen to the customers, didn't respect timelines, focused on the wrong thing, spent too much money on unnecessary, flashy, things not for myself but for the business, desks, floors, all these different kind of stuff.
Fancy things.
Yeah, instead of focusing on the consumer, refining the product and stuff like that. So eventually, after 1 year, I lost all my funding. And even though I had established a good client base, because I didn't follow up and I didn't focus on the key things, and I also had no idea about proper money management.
You're 19, so
Yeah.
you can be forgiven, I guess.
Yes, I mean, yes, I mean, being young humbles you, but it's something that I learned from. But at first it was very embarrassing. There's a lot of shame
What
there.
was the business supposed to do?
It was a dance studio.
Oh, okay.
Yes, because my background before I started doing everything else was in ballroom dancing.
Yeah.
So I'm fully versed in cha-cha,
Wow.
bachata, rumba,
trying to
tango,
picture
waltz.
you.
Yeah.
Across
So
the floor, yeah.
yeah, I mean, I was much more in shape, but but yeah, that's the business that I started. It was for high ticket items and high end clientele, and I know my stuff when it comes
Yeah.
to ballroom dancing.
So
So
you managed to convince investors,
yeah.
and
I just went to random people and pitched
Yeah.
at the gym.
did they get their money back?
No, they didn't.
Oh,
No, they
You
didn't.
declared Chapter 11 bankruptcy.
I almost declared bankruptcy, but I mean, my life wasn't bad in terms. It wasn't bad enough for me to declare bankruptcy. Although the business was going downhill after 11 months, so I just decided to close it. I just decided to close it down and allow it to dissolve. Thankfully, the investor was very generous. And wanted me to take that as a learning opportunity, and I learned a lot, and also part of it, like 17 grand, was a grant that I earned through my business plan and everything.
Yeah.
So I learned a lot. It really humbled me, and it allowed me to just take a steps back, and just look at where I could
This
improve.
was back in Canada.
Yeah, in about 2011.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lessons learned. Any other failures? Any other disasters?
Oh yeah, for sure. At first, we really had 0 followers, and we thought that we can just spend, a lot of money on clothing, because Pan African Lifestyle started as a clothing brand.
Yeah.
And we spent a lot of money and got about 1,000 like shirts, hoodies, and everything. And when they came, they were all misprinted. So you had white hoodies that had white print, and you couldn't see the logo. And we had all these, and so we had already spent the money, and we had these big boxes with clothing that had misprints, wrong colors, just we didn't do our due diligence. That was another learning lesson. And unfortunately, we had to make do with what we had. So that was a big failure, but it humbled us again, and we worked on getting it out there and contacting 50 people a day, and just continuing to build the brand, even with the poor quality.
Yeah.
We wore the stuff ourselves.
Yeah.
And we would just say that it's a limited edition. So that's how we went
The
with
genius thing you did, like Jay-Z likes to say, is that you never gave up.
it. Yeah.
That's the most genius thing.
Yeah, we can't, you can't give up. You can't give up because when you stop, then there's nothing else. So if you truly believe in a better life for yourself, the only option you have is to move forward. Even if you just crawl there, as long as you're moving forward, eventually you will get up and you will walk, and eventually you will run, and then you could fly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's actually a viral clip of MLK Jr. saying that, Martin Luther King Jr. saying exactly what you just said.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know where they got it. It definitely looks like it's not AI. It looks genuine.
Oh yeah,
It's something you would have said.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like it.
All right. Now, in as much as you've had setbacks like that, there are significant accomplishments, accolades, and successes that I would like you to share.
Yeah, I mean, on our Shopify platform, we made over $10,000 in a couple of weeks in terms of selling our clothing. That was really good. It didn't happen initially, but after a while of tweaking things, we did that. We have the number one Ibrahim Traoré song in the world right now because we have an album. We have the Pan African Lifestyle album, which has 100 songs that are conscious songs. So one of them is Ibrahim Traoré, and that's been streamed over 1 million times, like on our social media platforms. So we're very happy with that.
How did that come about?
We just wanted to create songs that were a vibe, that had a conscious message, that we could utilize, because we didn't want to use other people's message. I mean, other people's music on our videos, because we get copyright infringements. So we thought, why don't we just make our own music, and then if it's compelling enough, other users, other influencers might use it, and then that could help us push the Pan-African Lifestyle brand. So that was one of our major achievements. Obviously, getting to 400,000 followers on Instagram and then 200,000 on TikTok. That was big. We're closing in on 100,000 on YouTube. So all of those were big achievements for us.
That's huge.
Because we worked very hard, and also all of the celebrities that started to follow us. Like Samuel Jackson followed us.
Really?
The Prime Minister of Barbados follows us. Wodemaya follows us. Ahmed Kabelo follows us. Shaka Khan follows us. Malcolm X's daughter, Alicia Shabazz follows us. Alicia Shabazz, pardon me, follows us. So we have Shaka Bars follows us. Just a lot of people. That's the point. We worked very hard, and we've had people
Because they love the message.
They connect with the message, and they see the efforts that we're making towards building a platform whereby we can, push a behavior that is contributing towards Africa. So yeah.
Please promote us on your your platform.
For sure.
Please, we
Absolutely.
would really love to to get somewhere.
Yes, and we'll have to showcase the book to people.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, is that those are the major accolades. But I think you want to get to 2 million, 3 million, isn't it?
Yeah.
What are you doing to get there?
Once we get back to our office, like once we get back home after our visit, is going to be increasing the output of content, and getting help, with the Board of Tourism and stuff to get content for Botswana.
Yeah.
But push as much content as possible, and eventually go towards original content only, like you're doing, original content, and that will get us to the millions, because we're at a point right now where a lot of people see us. So we're not necessarily trying to get people to see us. People see us, and we know it. It just by pushing more content and
so you're not boosting and promoting yourselves as such. It's just organic.
Yeah, it's really organic. Everything's organic. Yeah. So right now it's giving more and more content. The more content we put, the more we'll be in the algorithms, and the more the numbers will go up.
So your content takes the form of what? It's not just music.
It's music. It's our books. It's obviously visual content. It's our card games. It's our clothing. But mostly online, it's the visual content and the music.
Okay.
Yeah.
You haven't thought of coming up with a podcast?
I mean, we did have the Pan-African Lifestyle Show.
Oh.
Yeah.
What happened to that?
We just paused it just because there are so many things going on that we wanted to focus on our business model.
Work? Is it still accessible on YouTube?
Yeah. If people just go to the Pan-African Lifestyle Show, they'll see that YouTube channel. But also we post some of the episodes which we had on the Pan-African Lifestyle channel, like because we have two. But we just paused it because we wanted to focus on our business model.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing. Like sometimes you could have
create the infrastructure first.
Yes, because sometimes you could have 1 million followers and $0 in the bank.
Yeah.
We're not interested in that.
Yeah.
We're not capitalists. We don't mean to be transactional, but in order to truly transform business and have an impact, you need the cash. You need so yeah.
Some people don't really understand the word Pan-African or Pan-Africanism. Would you take a moment to teach us and explain to us in simple terms?
From my perspective, Pan-Africanism just means a mindset whereby you are united as black people. You act in the best interests of people of African descent around the world in everything that you do. So whether it's in government, whether it's in business, whether it's in your personal life, it's acting in the best interest of people of African descent. That's how I would define Pan-Africanism. Now, obviously, you know, when you're talking about Pan-Africanism as a political ideology, then you could really, it's more complex than that. You know, it comes into policies that help our interests,
I'll tell you what most people think. Here's Ibrahim Traore, 2022, he takes power by force in a coup. Generally, it's very, very wrong to be doing that.
Yeah.
And yet, within 6 months, a year, everybody loved him.
Yeah.
And you and I agree he's a Pan-Africanist.
Yeah.
Using his example, define Pan-Africanism.
He's acting in the best interest of African people. That's why black people around the world approve, because he's acting on our best interest. He's trading. He's refining the minerals. He's kicking out foreign military bases. He's taking ownership of the mines. He's collaborating with Niger and Mali together
To form Sahel.
Yeah, the Sahel alliance. So all of that is in the interest of African people, and any action that is taken in the interest of African people should always be approved by African people.
Yeah. So every time a leader allows external forces to just come and take the resources at pennies for a dollar, anytime a leader allows their currency to be continually devalued, you see immediately that this is not Pan-Africanism. They're not acting the best interest.
Yeah, absolutely. There are leaders right now in Africa that are fake Pan-Africanists and that build their own country at the expense of fellow, African brothers.
Yeah, they build their own personal
Yeah.
wealth.
And that's not Pan-African. So,
And that could be said of the majority of the leaders.
yeah, that could be. Yes. But there are key ones that parade themselves as Pan-Africans, and they're not. They only build their nation through the suffering and the death of others, and they extort African nations and facilitate, extortion, acting as puppets for the West, and it's just unfortunate.
And there's something about power. I used to not like somebody like Colonel Gaddafi, for instance, and I didn't perceive him as a Pan-Africanist until after he is gone. Now we're seeing. What are your views on people like that?
For him specifically, it's difficult for me because he is Pan-African presenting because of the of all of the actions that he wanted to do, like for example the internet, the satellite that he wanted to have, that he wanted to back up the currency with gold and all that. Those are all incredible. But also we have to remember that Gaddafi really supported Arabization of Africa. So it's hard because he floated. There was a very gray area in terms of Pan-Arabic
So he was
mentality.
a very complex character.
Yeah, so it's difficult. But when you remove that side, or you don't think about the Arab side, the influence, yes, he was very Pan-African in terms of uniting our people, in terms of using our resources to help our people. He was willing to give billions of dollars as reparations to Black Americans. All those kind of actions
And he did
are
empower
Pan-African in
Libyans.
nature.
Libyans had a very high standard of life
Absolutely.
under him.
Yes, and their currency was very high. Yes, so that's Pan-African, absolutely.
All right, so you are here in Botswana for how many more days?
I'm here until the 16th. So I
Yeah.
think maybe four or 5 more days.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what is it that you set yourself to achieve in this time?
Just complete all the meetings that we have with
Yeah.
the certain ministries and institutions, and meeting with people such as yourself to
Yeah.
gain wisdom,
Yeah,
and understanding of Botswana, the culture.
because it's your first time.
This is my first time,
Okay.
and it will not be the last time.
Yeah.
The next time that we come, we want to bring our entire delegation here. But it's to finish the meetings and then
And what's your impression so far?
I love it. I love it. It's peaceful.
Yeah.
I love the people. Everyone has been so welcoming and so kind. Obviously, I'm here just for a week, so some people can say it's a small sample size. But when you really truly feel that peace of mind, it's something that's impactful and something you can't fake.
Is it too early to talk about your real estate ambitions? I'm a real estate guy, so I'm very curious about that.
It's not too early. We just can't go in detail in regards to the specifics. But we do have plans of building a real estate here, and particularly a residential unit, a community. And the name right now is Pula Gardens. So we want to build Pula Gardens and invite the diaspora to live there, but also anyone, of course, in Botswana can live in Pula Gardens. It's going to be open to everyone, but we want to have that as an opportunity for, perhaps, if possible, at some point. The dream is to have citizenship through investment.
Yes.
And
the
impact.
Government has already said they're interested in that.
Yes. There are talks in regards to policies that must go through Parliament and be refined. But whenever that is done, our objective is to utilize that vehicle to allow people to come in and invest.
The challenge is the amount of money, isn't it, that it's going to cost. I don't know whether it's going to be $1 million or 100 million. I don't know. Get 100,000.
Yes.
Sure.
So it should be around that ballpark. I know that there were articles online that gave 100,000 as the number.
US or Pula?
US.
Okay.
But that has not been officialized and it's not formal. There's no formal government article or anything that supports that. But we're hoping that it could be, if it was around that number.
It's an ongoing debate. What is your view, based on your interaction with your followers? What do you think is a nice entry point that is comfortable?
I think 100,000 is good.
100,000 US.
I think 100,000 is reasonable because there are countries out there that charge a lot more for their visas. I think 100,000 is good, but if you had the opportunity to invest, let's say 50K into a unit, and you come here with a business idea and you could prove to the government that you will contribute to the economy and to the fabric of Botswana, I think you should be allowed some grace to at least have permanent residence and then be considered for a citizenship pathway.
Is the amount not payable directly to government for you to come to get the visa?
That I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the vehicle
isn't it similar to what Trump is doing with his 5 million US?
Yes. And also with Dubai.
You pay him to get, you pay the American government to.
Yes.
Dubai is a similar amount?
Yeah, it's a similar amount for their gold visa for 10 years, I think it is, if I'm not mistaken. And China gives gold visas to certain people. Like I Show Speed received a golden visa because of his impact in terms of his content. It wasn't because of how much money he spent. But when you look at the impact and the amount of views and the amount of people that streamed, he broke down a lot of anti-Chinese propaganda in a few days.
Yeah, because you would go and drive those Chinese cars and mingle with Chinese.
Yeah.
It
was major.
Yeah, he did very well.
Yes.
Yeah. But he doesn't even speak Chinese. That's interesting.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and he got a golden visa.
He pulled it off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas our friend does with the mayor.
That's right.
Okay. So now we want to talk about 20 years now. The long-term vision. If you grab the crystal ball and look into the future, and we're talking about brand Emmanuel Bope, and we are also thinking about Pan-African lifestyle, PAL. What is the future look like for these two entities? Oh
yeah, so we have a 50-year plan ourselves, but in terms of 20 years, it's more.
I can still handle the 50-year plan. Tell me about it.
Yeah, so at first it would be more so on the business and not ourselves. Ourselves, obviously, the goal is always to be financially free, financially stable, and financially independent. And then after that,
which you are already.
Yes, but that was always the objective.
Yes.
So personally, that's it. But we weren't focusing on the Emmanuel Bope brand because I usually like to stay behind the scene. But
put the company forward.
Yes, that's the focus exactly. So for Pan-African lifestyle, the goal in 50 years is to have a PAL embassy in all 54 countries, and also to have a PAL embassy anywhere in the Caribbean where there are people of African descent, and to be the number one Pan-African multimedia company throughout the 50 years in the world, and to be the go-to lifestyle agency for travel, relocation, and investment. And also, obviously, to diversify our portfolio to make $1 billion US in terms of real estate, in terms of fintech, telecommunications, all of those together within 50 years. That's what we would like to do.
You've given yourself a very long time frame.
Yeah.
You can still do the same in 20 years. But
That-
I don't know about 54 embassies. But you mean literal embassies, or you just mean branches?
Branches, but we
Yeah.
call them embassies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, just because of the aspect of what an embassy represents, we believe that we are ambassadors of the continent.
Yeah.
And, we have pals, Pan-African lifestylers, and they can take their concierge services at one of our embassies. Now, legally, I don't know if African governments will allow us to use that word, but that's what we're using. And we would like to establish that. Now, we know that we could probably achieve it in 20 years, but we're giving ourselves 50 so that we can go through it
It's interesting
in terms
that
of
you give
operations.
yourself 50 years, because even when it comes to AU, in terms of their big vision in the context of the AFCTA, they're talking about 2063, which I've always felt is too far. But it looks like you're thinking along similar lines. They say 2063, Africa should have a common market. Travel within African countries should be seamless. There should be virtual African unity. What they're experiencing in the EU, they should experience here. It should be just like the European Union.
Yeah, for the African, that's just for ourselves at PAL, but for the African Union, I think we're kind of late.
Yeah.
All of this, most of these things should have been done yesterday. But, I mean, in 25 years, we should be able to achieve intercontinental trading, like a universal African passport. All of those things should be done within 25 years.
Yeah. And universal currency,
Yeah,
like the euro,
yeah, that.
should have the afro, or what are they going to call it?
I mean, I think they should pick a word that's Swahili is the most spoken word in Africa. So, makuta, or,
You'll find something.
yeah, in Swahili or in any other language that's utilized would be fine. But I think within 25 years, we should be able to achieve that as far as the African Union is concerned.
But someone told me something depressing, that even the African Union agenda is being run by the EU.
Yeah,
Or being
unfortunately.
sponsored by them.
It
So
seems that way.
What that tells me that it can.
I mean,
don't-
ideally, perhaps we would need another institution that is governed by the private sector, people of integrity who truly want to see Africa move forward, who have their own money and who therefore don't need anything from the African Union, who can make policies and who represent the private sector to impact it that way. I think that's the only worker way around
Yeah,
it.
I mean, it's the first time that I see an organization of this size, continental, being run from, or being controlled from. But I don't want to go political, but it worries me a bit.
It does worry me as well, but I think if nobody takes the African Union serious in terms of African people on the continent, the diaspora, and we all focus on finding other vehicles and other institutions that we can create to represent ourselves,
Yeah.
then the African Union becomes
Yeah,
irrelevant to us.
yeah.
Until we can either create another African Union or impact policy in a different way. But
Yeah.
we definitely, right at this point, we can depend on them.
Yeah, on a positive note, though, the African Union has suddenly, or recently, focused on the idea of getting the right size for the continent and getting the map fixed. And it is something that I was seeing a series of articles on. What is your view on that? Because for me, it made me feel good when I came across that.
Yeah, I mean, it's great in concept to have the right size of Africa on the map. So that our children and our children's children can look at that and they know the history and see it.
And know that this is the second biggest continent.
Absolutely, that's incredible for the education system. But I think there are more important things like we need to empower the private sector. We need to find ways to help people that are creating businesses. You know, Africa is going to have the youngest population, you know, especially by 2050, the youngest population, and we're going to have a huge market. So I think the focus should be on things that are tangible in terms of helping business. I think that's a really key in Africa. Help the enterprise move up. But as far as in concept, it's a good thing for our children to look at that. And it's because I have a son; he's 3 years old.
Yeah.
So it's great to show him a map and know that it's properly represented. But I would teach him that regardless, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
Even
yeah.
if it wasn't the right size, I would make sure he knows.
Yeah, but he needs to see for himself everywhere. Yeah, it has to be fixed.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know why they've done it like this. It's crazy. All right, as we wrap up, sir, is there anything you want to say to me by way of a question or put to me?
Yes, first of all, I would like to thank you for having me on this platform. I know that there are many people in Botswana and across the continent and the world that tune in to get the nuggets that you give,
Yeah.
but also the interaction that you have with your various guests. So thank you for including me to be part of that community. But most importantly, I wanted to ask you about execution. I know that you talk about a lot of things in your book, because I read the cover and I'm going to read the book more extensively. But you know, in our interaction in the last couple of weeks, in the last couple of days, sorry, my main thing that I wanted to ask you is like how you get things done. Because it's easy to give a big idea, but it's very difficult to execute and just have the discipline to do. How do you get yourself to do and to execute, even though sometimes things may not be perfect in terms of the concept?
Well, I call myself a doer of deeds, and I have a model of ready, fire, aim. So you can always aim and perfect later, but fire. And then I also teach my mentees that there's a triangle of success, like this. The triangle of success down here is, desire, which you have to have desire in terms of a goal. And then down here, up here is, faith, in terms of faith in God. I mentioned it in the Wademaya interview.
Yeah.
Faith in God and faith in yourself. And then here is execution. And all these three things need each other. So a lot of people are focused too much on desire in terms of what they're going to do. They're suffering from what is known as, an analysis paralysis, and they have goals, which is fine. But it's meaningless if you don't have faith in yourself and in God that you can execute. So, and then of course, execution. All three parts of this equilateral triangle of success are vital. So execution, I have no illusions about it. And a lot of the buildings that we acquired, I started building before even getting funding. This building you are in we're on the fourth floor with scaffolding and everything, when the bank came to our rescue eventually and considered our application seriously.
Wow.
So that tells you a lot. Yeah.
And does it start with do you plan this out? Do you have certain goals set out and then you just execute, or is it you wake up in the morning and you just say,
no, I have a vision board. I do write things down. I do have targets, and I do write things down. But in the old days, I used to write things down and then tick them off one by one. But what I do now is write things down, and as I'm writing, do.
Okay.
As I'm writing, do. So I find that it speeds things up. And then now that I have now appointed people, before it was me doing everything, it's much easier. I'm constantly giving instructions. Let's do this, let's do this, let's do this. Let's pay this person, let's do this, let's do this. So in that sense, we're always trying to execute. We'd have an average of 3 or 4 projects running at the same time.
Wow.
And trying to push them. And then we'd constantly, I have a full-time acquisition manager. His job is to constantly be looking for properties to acquire. So I have a strong bias towards execution, and to me, it's an open secret.
Yeah,
that's where success lies.
Yeah, thank you. Okay,
yeah.
Thank you for that.
All right. Have a look at that camera, sir. Leave the viewer or the audience with one final uplifting, motivational message as we wrap up?
Yes. So for me, the message is believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. It is possible. Whatever it is that you want to do, you just must go through the process of getting rid of paralysis by analysis and just go for it. No matter what, even if you feel it's gonna fail, just go for it. Just do it, and eventually it will work itself out. You'll get to where you need to be. Yeah.
All right. Of course, the one thing you should do is give them all your contacts and give them a clear idea of how they can interact and support your work.
PanAfricanLifestyle.com is the website that you can go to get any information about PAL. But you could also go on social media and follow at Pan African Lifestyle, or email info@panafricanlifestyle.com should you have any questions regarding travel, relocation, or investment.
Okay. No contact numbers that
No
for
contact
your office or anything.
No contact numbers. We just prefer to get the emails. I don't have the number by heart. That's why. But
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
go to panafricanlifestyle.com, it'll be somewhere at the bottom left corner.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. It remains for me to thank you from the bottom of my heart for coming out and sharing your life story and for being so open and generous. Thank you so much for
Thank
coming.
you for having me.
And safe flight back home.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.